Hello, gorgeous girls and beautiful boys, men and women. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And my name is Timmy Nicolayo, and I am a product manager. All right, so welcome back. Last week, I think last week was our was it the first video? I think so. Happy was it? I think last week was the first video of the year, and today we are just going to layer up on what we talked about last week. And like I said, the last week video was because I felt like people just finished like boot camp in 2025 and they need things to do before they start applying to jobs. So that is why I decided, let's talk about portfolio, because most times, right, they will ask you that you have a portfolio. So that was why we put up that video last week to talk about portfolio. And today we are going to be talking about another thing that you will need to set you on the right track in your product management role. So this topic today is about PM interview prep. So if you're already prepping for interviews in 2026, that is what we are going to be talking about today. So I want to assist you based on experience, some of the things that I experienced when I was interviewing right at my early stage, and that's just what we are going to talk about today. So PM interview prep for year 2026, let's say year 2026, right? And it's going to be like a complete guide. So I'm going to be handling the behavioral, the product sense, and also the technical parts. So that's what we are going to be doing. So congratulations, you've gotten you've built your product portfolio, right? And you've started applying to jobs. In fact, you've started getting interview invitations. But now comes the part that makes most people nervous. Do I still get nervous whenever I get invitation? I think I do. Yes, I still get nervous whenever I get like interview invitation, but it's not so bad. So PM interviews are different from any other role. You are not just answering questions about your experience; you are solving product problems on the spot. Exactly. You are solving product problems on the spot. You are demonstrating how much you think or how best you can think, and showing you can balance user needs with business goals. So those are the things that you are going to be doing. So today I'm breaking down the complete PM interview process for you. So if you're applying to jobs in 2026, this is actually your very good guide. I promise you that everything I'm going to say in this video will be very, very beneficial to you. So we are covering all three types of interviews you will face. We have the behavioral, the product sense, and also the technical. So I'm going to give you like frameworks, real examples, and practical tips for each one. And by the end of this video, right, you will know exactly what to expect and how to prepare. So let's just get into it. Now, the PM interview process, the overview is that the first one is, let us understand what you are working into. PM, product management. I don't know. What do I do? When they ask me this question, how do I answer? What are some of the things that I need to do? So most PM interview process have like 3 to 5 rounds. It depends really, but the processes are like 3 to 5. And the first one is, let's say, round one, right? You are interfacing with recruiter or the HR recruiter, right? So they are going to do like basic fit check, your background and interest in the role, and also logistics and expectations. And this is basically like phone call. Sometimes, yes, well, I've experienced it. They will just call you and they will just ask you a few questions before they proceed. So most times it's also always like probably phone call. Now the round 2 to 4 is core interviews. These are like the core part of the whole interview process. So this one can go like 45 to 60 minutes. It depends again, but this is where you face the three main types. The behavioral interview, tell me about a time when that is behavior, right? Then the product sense interview, how would you improve this product, probably one of their products or services, how would you improve it? And the last one is the technical interview, understand the technical concept and working with engineers. Now this may be maybe the technical parts. Okay, let me just get into it, so I'll explain. Now the round 5 is final or on-site round, right? So usually this one is with senior leadership or the hiring manager. So it is a mix or a blend of all three types, and culture fit assessment, and also sometimes like a presentation or case study. So this one is like the final part before they will now go into interview. I actually got a message where somebody was asking me that what like I should do a video on pay, like salary structure, and I'm laughing like it is actually a very, very slippery slope that I really do not want to go into, because when I say some things, you people will look at me like ah, So don't let us get into the interview bit yet. So now different companies structure this differently. Some do it in one day, probably on site or virtual. Some can actually pack everything into just one interview, right? Others spread it across weeks. So some add additional rounds like design exercises or sometimes take home assignments for you to do. But regardless of the structure, right, you face this three core interview types. So let's break down each one. Now, the first one is the behavioral interview. So behavioral interviews are about your past experiences. So the idea is the past behavior predicts future performance. Whatever they feel like you've done in the past, they would use it to like forecast what you are going to do in the future. So what they are actually assessing is, can you work with cross-functional teams? How do you handle conflict? Do you take ownership? How do you prioritize? Can you influence without authority? And do you learn from mistakes? So they want to know, have you worked with, even if it is not like, even if it is your the first product role that you are doing, but they feel like probably you've, even if it is just internship in somewhere, in one organization, they want to believe that you've interfaced, you've worked with different people in different departments. So that is cross-functional teams. They want to see how you handle conflict. There is no department that there is no, no, I don't want this thing, this one I want it. So they want to see how you handle conflict. They want to see if you take ownership. Okay, we gave you this assignment, how did you do it? Did you meet the deadline? Were you able to come up with something meaningful, right? How do you prioritize? Okay, so you are working, even if it was an executive role you were doing before this product's role, right? They want to see, how do you prioritize? Let's say you were doing like executive assistant or something, and your guy has like 10 meetings. How, which one will you put first for him to undo? Do you just merge everything inside his calendar and you want him to start sorting things out? So can you influence without authority? This is when you are working with stakeholders and also your team members. And do you learn from mistakes? If they shout at you that, oh, you didn't do this thing very well, do you go to one corner and start crying? Me, I do go to corner and I do cry, but then we come out. Not every time. Now I'm not a big girl, what do you mean? But then, sometimes you get some feedback and you're like, oh, I mean, a few months ago, actually, I was so tired of some things, and I had to go to my team lead, and I told him it feels like I need to like just drop off and just go away. But you know what? So how do you learn from your mistakes? So now the other one is common behavioral questions that they will ask you. They will say something like, okay, tell me about the time you had to say no to a stakeholder. I have a video where I explain how you can say no respectfully to stakeholders. Then also describe a situation where you failed and what you learned. It doesn't have to be like products, really. It's just behavior, really. And give me an example of when you had to influence someone without authority. So those are some of the questions based on what they are assessing. Tell me about a time you had to prioritize between competing demands. Again, I cited an example. So they just want to see if, in simpler terms, if you have sense. Seriously. And also describe a conflict you had with an engineer or designer and how you resolved it. So it may not be like, for example, if you are fresh, they may just see the questions around behavioral patterns is going to, they are always going to be around that, those assessments, really. But you just understand that this is what they are looking for. They can also say, tell me about a product you shipped that didn't meet expectations, or give me an example of when you use data to make a decision. Now, what I use is the star framework. I know that so many people actually they use this too, so you can use this for every answer. So the stars framework is, S is for situation, then you have task, you have action, and you also have results. So the S is, you have to set the context, that's the situation. The T is, what was your responsibility, that is task. The action is, what did you, don't say my team members, is you alone that you are doing the interview, so what did you specifically do? So this is the longest part, and you need to sell yourself very well. And the R part is results, what was the outcome? So you can include metrics if possible. So example, let me just give you an example. So if the question is, tell me about a time you had to say no to a stakeholder, because I have a video and I explained this, I can, interestingly, I can answer this very well. So now let's use the star metric, right? We can say situation. At my previous role, our CEO wanted to add a new reporting feature to our dashboard. It sounded great on the surface, but we were already committed to improving our core onboarding flow, which was our top priority for the quarter. Now, what was the task? As the PM, I needed to either accommodate this request or push back while maintaining a good relationship with the CEO. Now, what is the action? So I scheduled a meeting with the CEO to understand the underlying need, and I discovered that he really wanted, what he really wanted was visibility into user activity patterns. I showed them we could do this like 80%. We could solve this one 80% of what we already have, without us going outside of what we have, so probably using like existing analytics tool with some configuration, which will take our data out in 1 week instead of pulling engineer from our onboarding work for 6 to 8 weeks. So what you did was I presented the trade-off clearly. We could build a custom feature but delay our onboarding improvements by 2 months, which would impact our activation goal by an estimated 15%, or we could use the existing solution and keep our top priority on track. So now what is the result? See, you were able to tell the man that this, if you should go with your suggestion, right, this is what it's going to do. It is going to impact. See, there is nothing that will not impact. This is what, if I should pick your suggestion, no one, sir, it will affect this. Are you fine? So that you don't come and meet me that you people have not delivered. We are going to pick it though, but this is what is going to happen. There's going to be delay. There's going to be like timeline, not you not meeting timeline and all of that. Now, what is the result? The CEO agreed to work around our solution. We implemented it in 1 week and it got the visibility it needed. So more importantly, we shipped our onboarding improvements on time, which increased new user activation from 42% to 58% over the next quarter. Now, what most people, for example, when you do product management interviews, they always want to see like what happened to this, what happened to this. They want to see that, oh, how were you able to move, what was the impact? So most times when we put figures in these things, is because we know that hiring managers want to see that, oh, this was where this thing was and you were able to move it. You're a good person. You this is what they need, because they don't want their product to be stagnant. They want to see improvement. So what makes this a good answer is it was specific and detailed. It shows strategic thinking. It demonstrates influence skills, focuses on your actions, includes measurable results, and it shows understanding of trade-offs. You know that if you should do this, this is what is going to happen. But if you should do it, this is also what is going to happen. So how do you prepare for behavioral interviews? The first thing is you make a list of 8 to 10 stories from your experience. You've already done something. Like I said, it may not be product related. You've done something before. Did you just finish school? And even if it's in school, so even if you don't have PM experience, you have stories. Think about projects you led, conflicts you navigated, decisions you made, failures you experienced, and problems you solved. Even if it is not a PM experience, you have stories. I mean, the first job I got was a public relations officer role. I was doing writer because I write. So I was also like the social media manager in that company. So I was doing like three roles in just one company. And how did I get it? I was able to use my school experience to just speak during the interview. And that was how I got my first role in my career. So it doesn't have to be like PM experience, but you have stories to tell. You have things. If you want to gist with your friend now, you start telling them gist, you start cooking up stories. So I'm not saying you should lie you, because they will detect that you're lying. So this can come from any role. So previous jobs, school projects, volunteer work, or side projects. It can come from anywhere. Now the second step is map your stories to common themes. So make sure you have stories covering leadership or influence, conflict resolution, prioritization, data driven decisions, failure or learning, cross functional collaboration, and also user focus. So just pick any of these areas and you can develop your stories within those areas. Now the third step is that write them out using star. So actually write them down, practice saying them out loud, time yourself, aim for 2 to 3 minutes per story. Now the fourth thing is prepare the about you questions. So tell me about yourself. Self is like 2 minutes quickly. Don't say I'm the so I have like HR background, right? So sometimes I can speak from HR background or from the HR perspective, right? So it's not just PM. I have like a degree in human resource, so I can always speak. So sometimes you need to on your let's just go into this real quickly. On your CV, if you have your CV, please kindly remove the exact address where you live. Just put your name, your phone number, your email address. If you have the portfolio link, you can put it there. Marital status, date of birth, all of those information, please take it out of your CV. Probably we are going to have like a video where I explain that, but it's just very short thing. So I don't know. But yes, those number of siblings, married, please, religion, kindly take them out of your CVs. That's just by the way. Now, the step 4, prepare the about you questions. Tell me about yourself, 2 minutes speech. Why product management? Why this company? And why this product? Why this company? Why this product? My love, you should have questions. You should have answers. Why this company? Why this product? You know when they say, why do you want us to hire you, bro? Can't you see that I'm suffering? Can't you just hire me? So, pro tips for behavioral interviews: be specific, not generic. I work with the team to improve things. That is very weak. I ran weekly user research sections with 5 to 7 customers and synthesize findings into 3 key pay points that informed our roadmap. That is very strong, right? Focus on your actions. Use I, not we. It is only you that is going for that interview. It's not all of you in your department. So it is I, not we. The interviewer wants to know what you did. You did. Include metrics when possible. So numbers make your impact tangible, really. When you put numbers, they know that, oh wow, you're able to do this, because that is what. See, product management is actually a number game, to be honest. It is actually a number game, right? Show vulnerability. Talking about failures with learning shows self awareness. They know that you do mess up once in a while. So come and tell us what you learned from that situation. Tailor examples to the company. If they value data, emphasize data driven stories. If they value speed, emphasize bias for action. So don't bash previous employers or colleagues. Do not do that though. Even if discussing conflict, be professional. One of my team members, my engineer, was very, and so what I did was I treated his f up. Don't be vague. I'm a team player means nothing. So show it with a specific story. Don't be vague. I mean, say something. Now, the part two is product sense interviews. So, product sense interviews test your ability to think about products strategically. So, these are the design a product or improve a product questions. So, what you're actually assessing: do you understand users? Can you identify real problems? Do you think strategically? Can you prioritize? Do you consider trade offs? And can you structure your thinking? I don't know if that was too fast, but those are the things that they want to understand. So, common product sense questions would be: how would you improve one of their products, right? Design a product for specific user group. How would you measure success for probably a feature? And should we build this feature? Why or why not? And you are the PM for XYZ products. What would you prioritize? And how would you monetize free products? Exactly, you can monetize free products. I made a video one time that I said, if you are not getting monetary value, like money, kudi, you can get data. And data is very important. So you can monetize free products. So the framework I use and I recommend is: one, clarify and also set context. So the 2 to 3 minutes discussion you are going to have, use it to clarify and also to set context. Ask questions before jumping to solutions. Ask questions before jumping to solutions. So when they ask you stuff like that, you say, who is the target user? What's the main goal? Is it growth? Is it retention? Is it monetization? Are there any constraints I should know about? And what does success look like? You also ask them question. Now, the second thing is define the user and their problems. This should be like 3 to 4 minutes. Segment the users if applicable. Pick one segment to focus on. Identify their key pain points or jobs to be done. Show you understand user needs deeply. Now, the third part is you now propose solutions. Now, you did not propose solution in step one. Oh. You did clarity and you also set context, right? Then the second one is define user and their problems. Now, the third one is propose solution. What you did in the first step and the second step was you identifying the problem, and I made a video there that most times we always want to jump into solution without understanding the problem. Someone, they might ask you that kind of question, the next thing you're already talking about solution. No. So the third thing is propose solutions. So this should be like 5 to 6 minutes. You brainstorm 3 to 5 potential solutions, pick one to dive deep in, explain why it is the best choice, and walk through the user experience. Now, the fourth thing is you prioritize. If you propose multiple features, you prioritize them. You cannot do everything at the same time. You use a framework, either impact versus effort or rise framework. I have a video where I actually explain this, and you also explain your reasoning. Why did you pick this one instead of this one? So explain your reasoning. Then the fifth thing is define success, rather. Define success. So what metrics would you track? How would you know if this succeeded, and what would you measure? Now, the sixth one is I also have a video on metrics, so you can also watch that. Discuss trade-offs. What are the risks? What might go wrong? And what are you not doing? So those are trade-offs, and the total is like about 15 to 20 minutes, so you leave time for follow-up questions. So example walkthrough is let's talk about how would you improve Instagram stories. I intentionally pick this. So how would you improve Instagram stories? So the first one is clarify, right? Okay, great question. A few clarifying questions, please. Are we focusing on a specific user segment, like creators versus casual users? Are we optimizing for engagement, retention, or something else? And are there any technical or resource constraints I should consider? So, interviewer, let me say I'm the interviewer and I tell you, okay, let's focus on increasing engagement for casual users. Then you can now define user and problems. Okay, so casual Instagram user, you already know the users, right? Now people will probably consume content rather than create it. So there are some that are content creators and some are just there to just scroll and laugh. Sometimes you don't even post anything, but I have become a content creator now. So based on my experience and understanding, their main pain points with stories might be finding interesting stories to watch can feel random, and no easy way to save or revisit stories they enjoyed. Stories from people they don't follow are not discoverable. The experience is passive, just scrolling through. Actually, this is actually something that you can steal. I know if you steal it, I'll catch you. So actually, this is real. I'm actually working on. I intentionally actually use this question because it's actually one pain point I've noticed with Instagram stories. So this is actually a very good case study. Do you understand? So now let me focus on the discoverability problem, since that seems most impactful for engagement. Now the third one is now proposed solutions. Yeah, a few ideas I would consider. The first one is personalized stories discovery feed based on interest. Then the option two is save and organize stories into collections. Then the option three is interactive elements with stories, either polls, quizzes beyond what exists. And so what would you say you have to recommend? I'll go with option one, a personalized discovery feature. Here's why: it solves the core problem of what should I watch and aligns with Instagram's strength in recommendation algorithms. So here's how it would work. You keep going forward. They understand that you know products. So after you finish watching stories from people you follow, you'll see a discover stories section with stories from creators or topics you might be interested in based on your likes, follows, and viewing patterns. You could filter by topic, either food, travel, or comedy. And that is it. So do you understand now? So that is it. Now the fourth one is you prioritize and you say, if we are building this, I would use an MVP approach. Phase one, basic algorithm suggestions. So this one is like 5 to 10 stories after you finish your friend stories. Now the phase two is topic filters and preferences. My phase three will be more advanced personalization and save for later functionality. So phase one is actually my highest priority because it validates whether users even want discovered content in stories. Now you define success. I would measure success through primary daily time spent watching stories. So it increases by 15%. You know that you're doing well. Now secondary stories completion rate. How many stories watched through to the end? Tertiary will be user retention. Do people come back more often? So those are the things that you use to define success. So we also track negative metrics like drop off rate to ensure we are not annoying users. Now the sixth one is trade offs. The main risk are users might find it overwhelming or irrelevant if our algorithm is not good, could cannibalize them from reels or field if not positioned well. Privacy concerns about data usage for recommendations. So we'll need to validate user interest first with a small test before building extensively. So what makes this a good answer? Structured approach, ask clarifying questions, shows user empathy, multiple solution with reasoning, clear prioritization, metrics driven, and acknowledges trade offs. So how do you prepare for product sense interviews? The first one is practice common question types. I will share some resources, but the first thing you do is practice common questions type. Pick 10 to 15 products and practice answering. How would you improve it? Design a feature for maybe specific user need, and also how would you measure success? Now, the step two is use real products. I mentioned it last week. Don't go and be doing products here down of products that you've not used. So don't pick products you've never used. Authentic knowledge makes your answers better. So step three is time yourself. Practice answering in 15 to 20 minutes. Products and questions shouldn't take more than 45 minutes. Don't bore the interviewers, right? And the fourth one is study framework. So familiarize yourself with jobs to be done, Circles method by Lewis Lane, rice prioritization, and also North Star metrics. Those are the things that you should do. Now, the step five is review your portfolio case studies. Review your portfolio case studies. So if you built a portfolio like we discussed in the last video, review them. Review them. You can reference them in interviews. Pro tips for product science interviews: really structure your thinking out loud. So let me break this into few part. Interviewers want to see how you think. Ask clarifying questions. Don't jump straight to solutions. It shows you gather requirements. Right? Focus on one user segment. Don't try to solve for everyone. Explain your why. Don't just list features. Explain why they solve the problem. Use real world examples. Reference products you've used or studied. Be conversational. This should feel like a product discussion, not a presentation. Don't design in silence. Verbalize your thinking process. Don't ignore business viability. Consider cost, technical feasibility, and also business model. Don't just list of oblivious or features that are everywhere. Don't list obvious pronounced features that are already there. The features are already there, so why are you making reference to them already, except if you want to do like a recommendation or something. So don't just list those features that are already there. They are already available for users. So go deeper, show insights. Right now, the third part is technical interview. So we talk about behavioral, we talk about product sense, and now the last part is technical interviews. So technical interviews assess whether you can work effectively with engineers and understand technology enough to make informed decisions, product decisions actually. Now let me say something here. Some roles, the reason why I actually added this is if you are applying to technical products manager roles, right? So if your own is not like technical products manager, you may not really focus on this. But if your role is like technical products manager, this is very very useful. So important, you are not expected to code, but you need to show technical literacy. So what they are actually assessing are, can you have intelligent technical conversations? Do you understand system architecture basics? Can you evaluate technical trade-offs? Do you respect engineering constraints? Can you translate between technical and non-technical stakeholders? And let me also say that I didn't grow to know everything technical in my first year. In fact, it took like 3 years before I started going into the technical side of product management. Do you understand? So don't feel like, oh, you've not done so well if you are not like technical. No, no, you are also a product manager. So common technical question types are: one, the system design. How would you design the backend for XYZ product? Explain how this particular feature works technically. What databases would you use for this use case and why? Now, the type two is technical trade-offs. Should we build this feature using REST API or GraphQL? We can build this feature in 2 weeks with higher technical depth, or 6 weeks with better architecture. What do you recommend? Explain the trade-offs between native mobile apps and web apps. Now, the type three is working with engineers. An engineer says a feature will take like 6 weeks. You think it should take two. How do you handle this, right? How do you prioritize technical depth versus new features? Explain a time you had to make a technical decision without full information. And the type four is understanding tech concepts. What is an API and why do they matter? In fact, you should know this one, even if you are not technical. You should know this. What is an API and why do they matter? Explain how a recommendation algorithm might work. What's the difference between SQL and no SQL databases? How to approach technical questions now. So for system design questions, right, use the structure, clarify requirements. What are we building exactly? What's the scale? Is it 100 users? Is it 10 million users? And what are the key features, right? So the second thing is identify main components. User interface. Is it web? Is it mobile? Is it both? And also application server and backend and database, third party integration. You should also identify like the main components. Now the third one is discuss data flow. How does data move through the system? What needs to be stored? What needs to be real time versus batch processed? Then the fourth one is address scale and performance. How would this handle growth? What might be bottleneck and how would you ensure reliability? Now example is, let's say they ask you a question: how would you design the backend for a ride sharing app like Uber? So let me break this into like components the way we just said it. So user facing pieces, mobile apps for riders and drivers, real-time location tracking, matching algorithm, and also payment processing. Right now, the backend architecture would be: we would need a database to store user profile, ride history, and driver data, a real-time matching service that connects riders with nearby drivers, a mapping or routing service, could use Google Maps API, a payment processing system, like we integrate all the space stack, all those for if you're in Nigeria, you can also use Stripe or anyone, right? So what are the key technical consideration? Real-time location tracking requires WebSockets or similar tech for constant connection. The matching algorithm needs to be fast. We can't make use out wait minutes. We need high availability. So if the system goes down, neither riders nor drivers can work. Data security is also critical. We are handling location data and payment info. So for scale, you would need to use no SQL database like MongoDB for fast reads or writes at scale. Then you implement like Redis for frequently accessed data like driver locations. Use load balancing to handle traffic spikes. Have geographic distribution of servers for lower latency. And I also want to ensure we have good monitoring and error handling, since any downtime directly impacts earning for drivers. So you can actually talk like that, right? So why is this response good? Why is it good? It shows understanding of system components, mentions real technologies, considers skills and reliability, addresses security, balances technical details with business impact. Again, if your role is not technical, you really do not need this part. It's more of behavioral and product sense for you, right? So for technical trade-off questions, you can use I have this framework, right? Understand the options, consider multiple factors, make a recommendation. And how do you go about this? So learn basic concepts. You should understand what APIs are and how they work. Difference between front end and back end. You don't know the difference between front end and back end. Really? Really? So SQL versus no SQL databases, basic system architecture, and common trade-offs, speed versus quality, build versus buy. So you know all of that. Now I have some resources. Designing data intensive application. So the first few chapters. I have also system design interview by Alex Zhu. You can also use YouTube system design interview channels. Talk to engineer friends. Ask them to explain concepts. My brother is actually a front end developer, so sometimes he actually started as a back end developer and he moved to front end. And sometimes I just share ideas. We just share ideas together and he explains some of these things to me. Now the second thing is practice explaining technical concept simply. Don't be explain API straight to the point. Tell them what API is. Review your past technical decisions. Stay current on tech trends. You should stay current on the. Did you people follow? Do you people know what is happening with cloud AI right now? Do you even know what is happening? Like you should. It feels like every day we now get like one AI product, one AI feature from everybody. Everybody's just doing basketballs. So you should be abreast of what is going on in your industry, right? Stay current on tech trend. Read about AI ML applications in products. AI is artificial intelligence, machine learning is ML. So you should know those things. Mobile versus web consideration, cloud platforms like AWS, Google Cloud, Azure Basics. You should know those things, right? Data privacy and security, and that's just it really. So admit what you don't know. If they ask you technical questions, I'm not technical, but I know what APIs are. So you can say stuff like that. So admit what you don't know. Connect tech to user or business impact. Ask questions. Use analogies. Show you value engineering input. Talk about how you collaborate with engineers, not dictate to them. Don't pretend to know things you don't. Engineers will see through it. Don't be dismissive of technical constraints. Respect complexity, and also don't use jargon incorrectly. Only use technical terms you actually understand. Now I have like general interview tips and we are rounding up this video. I know it's a long one, but you can always break it and come back, break it, come back. So what are some of the general interview tips? Beyond the three interview types, right? Here are general interview tips for you as a product manager. So before the interview, now let's get serious. Review the company deeply. You just come and work for me, you don't even know who I am. Who are you to? So you should review and also research the company deeply. Use the product extensively. If they have a product there, use their product. Sign up. Even if they'll not give you the job, but sign up. You can go and delete your account after, right? Read recent press releases and blog posts. Understand their business model and know their competitors. Find interesting product decisions they've made. The second thing is prepare questions to ask. I have like 5 to 7 thoughtful questions ready about the product roadmap, about team culture, about how decisions are made, about the PM's role in the organization, about their biggest challenges. So you should know that. So good questions, ask them. The third one is review your resume or portfolio. The fourth one is set up your environment. If it is virtual, it's just that in this part of our country, the internet has been showing me shaggy for days. In fact, I have like 3 internet providers in this house, and it has been very, very rubbish experience. Yeah. So set your environment. If it's going to be like a virtual call, right? Set up your environment. Test your internet connection. Good lightning. If they will say you should put on a video, good space, quiet space. Don't be doing quiet space, right? Have a notebook and pen handy. I always go to interview with a note and a pen. I always go into interviews with that. Keep water nearby. If you need to drink water, drink water like that Chelsea player. Drink water. And also during the interview, what do you do? Listen carefully. Don't interrupt. Listen carefully. Think out loud. Think out loud. Interviewers want to see your thought process. Silence is okay when you are thinking, but verbalize when possible. Be concise but thorough. Answer fully, but don't ramble. They will see that you don't know. So aim for 2 to 4 minutes per behavioral answer, 15 to 20 minutes for product sense. Show enthusiasm, be enthusiastic about what you are saying, right? Be genuinely interested in it. Why did you even go and do interview if you are not interested in the company? We all know we need money, but at least show interest. Involve me. Now we sent invitation to you. Now yeah, I think as if we are forcing you. So ask follow-up questions. Show you care about the product. Be yourself. Be yourself. Don't try to be someone you are not. Authenticity, be authentic, right? That's just what I'm trying to say. So you should be authentic in what you are trying to say. And after the interview, you can send thank you emails. In this part of the world, I don't think you people do it. I don't think you people actually do send thank you. Oh God. So you can send thank you emails, personalize each one, reference something from your conversation. You can also reiterate your interest and also keep it brief. Keep it brief, just short lines. Reflect on what went well and what didn't. What questions did you not answer very well? You can go and research on that question. What would you answer differently? Follow up appropriately. If they said you hear back in a week, wait a week before following up. Be patient but proactive, right? So if you are dealing with nerves, it's normal to be nervous. So here is what do help me. I do practice extensively. I'll practice. I remember, it is a conversation. You guys are not fighting. It's a conversation. It's not an interrogation. You are evaluating them too. You too. You want to know if they are a very good company. So it's actually a conversation, right? Prepare thoroughly. Reframe rejection. Not every role is the right fit. So rejection is redirection. I know it feels like what salad, but really just reframe rejection. Oh, they didn't pick me. You get somewhere else, right? And focus on learning. So every failed interviews are practice for future ones. Do you understand? So if this interview did not go well, again, go and look at where you missed it and just develop on that part, right? So creating your interview prep plan. All right. So we are almost getting there, right? So 4 weeks before your interview, behavioral prep, you can start doing behavioral prep in your week one, right? The week two, product sense prep. You can do like practice 10 to 15 questions and all of that, product questions and all of that. Now, week three, you can do like technical prep. If it's going to like cover technical bits of it, you can do technical prep. Then your week four will be like company research and mock interviews. Again, it might not be like this lengthy. If you get the invites in, probably they told you to prepare. They gave you like 3 days to prepare for the interview. You can do this within 3 days. Just quickly do everything that you need to do. So you can like do like company research and also mock interviews, and that's just it. So 2 days before your interview, review your star stories, review the company and the products, prepare your tell me about yourself answer, and get good sleep. Me, I like sleep. Oh, and the day of interview, review your notes briefly. Don't cram. Trust your preparation. Arrive or log in like 5 to 10 minutes early. Take a deep breath and remember that you've got this. So it's not nobody's fighting you. So I have some resources, right? If you are going for interview, so I have exponent.com, exponent, exponent.com. So that's like PM interview prep platform with practice questions. I got an offer.com, just like I said, I got an offer.com. There is also blind, so see, this one helps you see what others are saying about interview processes. There is also Lewis Lynn's book, Lewis Lynn, so Decode and Conquer for PM interviews. You can check that out. PM friends or mentors, practice with people who have been through it. And on a closing note, or on a rounding up note, PM interviews can actually feel intimidating. Yes, but remember, they are designed to see how much you think, not to trick you or make you fail. So the companies interviewing you, they actually want to hire someone. They want you to succeed. You are not the adversary. You are a potential teammate. So the key things to remember is structure your thinking. Use frameworks to organize your answers. Be specific. Use real examples, numbers, and details. Show user empathy. Always bring it back to user need. Think business. Consider trade offs, metrics, and business impact. Be authentic. Don't try to give perfect answers. Give genuine ones, right? Practice extensively. Preparation breeds confidence. So if you've already done the hard work, you've set your goals, you've built your portfolio, now you're preparing for interviews, you are further along than most people who want to break into PM. So just keep going. Drop in the comments. Have you started interviewing, and what are you interviewing for? You can drop it for me. What type of interview? And just let me know if there are other things that you want me to help you with. So I read every comment and I will try to answer as many as I can. So if I see common themes, right, maybe I'll do like deeper dives on specific interview types. So if this video actually helped you, I've been talking for the past how many minutes, but I hope that you actually picked something from it. So if this video helped you, please like and subscribe, share it with anyone who is preparing for PM interviews. And remember, every PM you admire has been exactly where you are right now, nervous, preparing, hoping to get that first yes, and you can also do it. In fact, me too. I was there. I'm still there because I think, like I said, I stopped sending out my applications because I was really busy with school. But we've all been there, right? So good luck with your interviews. I'm actually rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.